Shalom, Shalom Bimroma, Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al kol Yisrael Ve'al kol Yoshvei Tevel. Shalom Bimroma, Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al kol Yisrael Ve'imru
It's a cute dog, though. Yeah. Don't know either. I have no idea. How does that usually happen?
It usually just works automatically.
Are you okay without it?
Yeah.
You are? Okay. Oh, right, because it has all the words. Are you okay?
Yalla lay 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 lay, yalla lay 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 lay, yalla lay 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 lay, yalla lay lay lay, yalla lay 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 lay, yalla lay 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 lay, yalla lay 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 lay, yalla lay lay lay, yalla lay 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 lay, yalla lay 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 lay. Yalla lay 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 lay, yalla lay lay lay, yalla lay 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 lay, yalla lay 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 lay, yalla lay 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 lay. Let's try it together. Yalla lay 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 lay, yalla lay 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 lay, yalla lay 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 lay, yalla lay lay lay, yalla lay 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 lay, yalla lay 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 lay, yalla lay 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 lay, yalla lay lay lay, yalla lay 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 lay, yalla lay 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 lay, yalla lay 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 lay, yalla lay lay lay, yalla lay 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 lay, yalla lay 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 lay, yalla lay 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 lay. Dodili vanilo haroe bashoshanim dodili vanilo haroe bashoshanim. midbar mizot ola min hamidbar dodi li vani lo haroeh bashoshanim dodi li mekuteret mor levona mor levona dodi li vani lo haroeh bashoshanim dodi li bashoshanim dodi Bashoshanim dodi li.
Shabbat Shalom, everyone.
Shalom.
So today we are delighted to have Chris Smallwood on piano and Jared Hauser, our very own, on oboe this evening, and of course Cantor Josh. So we're just going to begin with some things that we can celebrate, some simchas of which we can feel good about. Maybe your week was more on the rough side and you can use a little uplift from somebody else. I'm delighted that Phoebe and Zach Stern are here in the sanctuary this evening. And of course, Anne. Sorry, I didn't mean to diminish your being here with us too, but it's always great to have you guys, so welcome back. And other simchas, birthdays or anniversaries, anything fun that we're celebrating or honoring? Okay, Anne, I'm coming over to you.
Okay, I didn't, thank you. Yeah, I didn't know whether to say something or not, but Mitt, my daughter-in-law and son, did have a rough week, but life is a balance, and there is always time to find joy. And their daughter, our granddaughter, Zoe White, who grew up in Micah, has committed to Georgetown Law School.
You know what? That's great news for your family this week. Yes, Heather's father passed away unexpectedly, which was fairly tragic, and so that is nice to have that balance, and we're so excited for Zoe and so proud of her. It's amazing. That's great. That's great. Other great things that we are experiencing or just happy about this week that you want to share? I know we've got a lot of recovery going on. We've got hand and foot and all sorts of, you guys are a mess. I'm just kidding. Here you go.
I'm celebrating that Lynn has moved from mobile devices to the cane, which is a good thing. And we learned this week that our great-granddaughter is walking on her own.
Oh, everybody's walking for this week in your house. It's very exciting. Oh my God, doesn't matter what age you are. It's a big thing. Big thing. I love it. This is good. Okay. Dr. Bob, and then I'm coming to Dr. Tom. Hold on.
Well, I'm celebrating the fact that I once again was able to say hello to Phoebe Stern today. She's been off in Thailand and managed to grow 2 more legs. She has 4 legs now. That's wonderful. I didn't know you could do that in Thailand. Good work, Phoebe.
Phoebe, did they ask you to be on this season's White Lotus? Okay, we'll discuss after services. It's been crazy.
Your eldest son is having a birthday this coming week. It's very exciting. I can remember when he was dropping stones down the grate by your house.
He still finds pleasure in those. 23. Yeah. Yeah, I love it, Laura.
Jacob and I are 6 months out from getting married today.
I love that. It's exciting. All right. Anybody else? It's fun to share. You get to talk into the microphone. People at home hear you. All right. Well, we'll continue on. We're going to light our Shabbat candles. So Diane and Laura are two of our very robust group of Judaism learners for conversion this year, and we're going to have them light candles.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehadlik ner v'tzivanu lehadlik ner v'tzivanu lehadlik ner shel Shabbat. Ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la 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 ya la.
We're going to continue welcoming in Shabbat by welcoming in the angels. People often ask, in fact, I think it was just asked, I think it might have been the Rubios who asked in our adult ed, do we believe in angels in Judaism? Am I right about that, Ron? I think that was you. So the answer is yes. And I mentioned that while we won't find them Torahitically, it's not really a biblical thing that we find angels in our text, but that the rabbis, especially in their midrashim and the stories they told, spoke often about angels. And there's a Baba Maisa, if you will, sort of a mystical understanding that because we are worn out, our souls, our neshamot are kaput at the end of a week, that we need a little extra help to walk along the way as we leave synagogue on Friday as Shabbat begins, and the rabbis tell us that an angel escorts us, one on each side, to get us back home. So we welcome in those angels of Shabbat to help bolster us at the end of a week.
Yes, and this is a lovely melody that comes from the group in Nava Tehillah from Israel, and it's very easy to sing along, so we'll do it one time in a yalalai, and then try to join us on the text.
Okay.
Shalom Aleichem, Malachei Hasharet, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Shalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruchuni leShalom, Malachei Hashalom, Malachei Elyon, Mi Melech, Malachei HaMelachim, HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai lai lai. Yai lai lai lai. Yai lai lai. Yai lai 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 lai. Yai lai lai lai. Yai lai 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 lai.
Please rise for the words of Hatzi Kaddish.
Yitkadal ve'yitkadash shemei rabba.
Amen.
Ve'amadi v'rach yirutei v'yamlich malchutei.
B'chayechon u'vyomechon u'v'chaye dechol Beit Yisrael b'gala u'v'zman kariv.
V'yimeru
Amen.
Yehi shmei rabba mevorach le'olam ul'al me'almaya. Yitbarach, Yitbarach, ve'yishtabach, ve'yitpa'ar, v'yitromam, ve'yitnaseh, ve'yitadar, ve'yitale, ve'yitalal, shemei dekudesha barichu, le'ela min kol birchata ve'shirata, tushbechata ve'nechemata, damiran be'alma, ve'meru, amen. Barechu et Adonai hamevorach. Baruch Adonai hamevorach, hamevorach le'olam va'ed. Hamevorach, hamevorach le'olam va'ed.
I invite you, if it's comfortable for you, to close your eyes for the words of the Shema, and either to sing them along, chant them along with us, or to just let the sound kind of enter the space, thinking about the oneness, how we're all connected to each other and to Jews and synagogue goers all over the world who are singing these very same words this Shabbat.
Shema Yisrael Adonai Eloheinu Adonai Adonai Echad Baruch Shem Kevod Shem Kevod Malchuto Le'olam Le'olam Va'ed Ve'ahavta et Adonai Elohecha בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך, והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ושוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי, והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים, להיות לכם אלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Sarah Tuttle Singer, who is a mom and a Jew living in Jerusalem and often writes poetry now post-October 7th, shared these words, which I offer before our prayer for the release of captives. It is almost Passover again. The matzah boxes have returned to the supermarket shelves. Kids cut out frogs and pyramids in kindergarten, not yet knowing what it means to be enslaved or free. And the Haggadah waits quietly on a high shelf, like a story we tell ourselves every year in hopes that one day it might come true. But this year feels different, because this year, someone's son is still in Gaza. This year, a daughter still wakes up screaming in the night. This year, there are empty chairs at the Seder table that no one dares fill. Not yet. And yet, maybe this year in Jerusalem, not the Jerusalem of headlines and heartache, not the Jerusalem of bureaucracy and broken promises, but the Jerusalem of the heart, the one hidden beneath the asphalt and the ancient stones, the wild, hungry, desperate hope, and all of us, that Jerusalem. Maybe this year Jerusalem means coming home, not triumphant, not whole, but tired. Tired of war songs and sirens, tired of making peace with pain, tired of being the symbol everyone else fights over, while her people just want to sleep through the night without checking their phones to see who did not make it home. Maybe this year, Jerusalem is less a destination and more a conversation, a whisper, a reaching across the table, the divide, the silence. Why is this night different? Because we are. Because after everything, after too many plagues and endless deserts, we scan the sky for miracles and still insist on telling the story. We are setting the table. We are still marbling and marveling at the youngest who asks the 4 questions. We are still singing Dayenu even when we don't quite believe it. No, God, it won't ever be enough until the hostages are home. Maybe this year, Jerusalem is a woman lighting 2 candles with trembling hands, whispering blessings for a world she no longer trusts but hasn't given up on yet. Maybe this year, Jerusalem is the soldier who carries a piece of matzah in her vest pocket, and the child who hides the afikomen behind a photo of someone they miss. Maybe this year, Jerusalem is Yarden Bibas and Eli Sharabi, who humble us with their courage and strength, simply by waking each morning having survived the deepest hell, only to step out into a world still scorched, desolate, and broken. Maybe this year Jerusalem is that sense of understanding that we Jews of all backgrounds and walks of life must truly understand that we are brothers and sisters if we are to survive. Maybe this year freedom looks like Nova survivors dancing again. or leaving our phones on silent. Maybe this year the hostages come home. Not to parades or speeches, but to homemade chicken soup, to silence, to arms that remember how to hold even after everything. And maybe that is enough. Maybe it has to be. Because even now, especially now, Lashana Haba'ah B'Yerushalayim, the words we end the meal with, that same ancient wish, next year in Jerusalem. But next year seems too far away. So maybe this time, maybe we dare to believe that this year, maybe this year, even though we are still in the desert, we are already on our way. Please join me in the blessing for captives. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, matir asurim. Blessed are you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who helps release the captives.
Amen. This melody of Michamocha, composed by our very own Michael Hunter Oakes, gets me in the mood for Passover. So, with Passover coming up, that would be good to do today.
Michamocha ba'elim Adonai, Michamocha nedar b'kodesh, Nora Jehilot, Nora Jehilot, Osef elef. Michamocha ba'elim Adonai, Michamocha nedar b'kodesh, Nora Jehilot, Nora Jehilot, Osef elef. And the river is wide, and the river is deep, and the river is standing between you and me and freedom, freedom. But we shall overcome one day. Michamocha ba'elim Adonai, Michamocha nedar b'kodesh, Nora Jehilot, Nora Jehilot, Osef elef. And the river is fear, and the river is hate, and the river is standing between us and the gates of freedom, freedom. We shall overcome one day. Michamocha ba'elim Adonai, Michamocha nedar b'kodesh, Nora Jehilot, Nora Jehilot, Osef elef. And the river divides, and the river forgives, and the river's a wall, and the river's a bridge to freedom, freedom. But we shall overcome one day. With a tambourine and a mighty hand, across the sea and the desert sand, let the children sing for Miriam. Next year in the promised land, next year in the promised land, next year in the promised land, next year in Jerusalem, in freedom, freedom. but we shall overcome. One freedom, but we shall overcome one day. Yeah, we shall overcome one day.
Hashki Venu is a prayer about nightfall. It's a prayer really about our deepest concerns and largest anxieties and how we can find some sort of spiritual salve that will help us keep those at bay. Many of us had a night of true stormy craziness a couple of nights ago, and I believe we all survived that, whatever floor you were sleeping on and whatever safe area of where you live. But we know that there are residents of Tennessee who did not fare so well. And so we direct our thoughts, and I hope our actions as well, towards those who are in need for our prayer of Hashki Venu.
Yes, and it's my pleasure to have my other friend Chris on the piano, Chris Myers, for this one. And this is the melody by Donnie Mossings. Hopefully you remember it from when he visited us earlier this year.
Hashki Venu, Hashki Venu, Adonai Eloheinu, Leshalom, Leshalom, Hashki Venu, Hashki Venu, Adonai Eloheinu leshalom. Ve'hamidenu shomreinu lechayim ve'leshalom ve'leshalom. Hashki Venu, Hashki Venu, Adonai Eloheinu leshalom. Ufros aleinu sukat shalomecha. Hashki Venu, Adonai Eloheinu leshalom. Ushmor tzeiteinu uvoheinu lechayim ולשלום מעתה ועד עולם. ופרוס עלינו סוכת שלומך. סוכת שלומך, השכיבנו, השכיבנו, אדוני אלוהינו. לשלום, לשלום. השכיבנו, השכיבנו, אדוני אלוהינו לשלום.
Please rise.
Adonai,
Adonai,
Sephatai,
Sephatai,
Tiftach, Ufi, Yagi, Tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your glory. Adonai, Sephatai, Tiftach, Ufi, Yagi, Tehilatecha. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avoteinu ve'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, ve'Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, ve'Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibur ve'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, וקונה הכל, וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה, מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן. ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיה הכל אתה רב להושיע. משיב הרוח מוריד הגשם, מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיה הכל ברחמים רבים, סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים, ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר, מי כמוכם בעל גבורות, ומידו מלך, מלך ממית ומחיה, ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה לחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני, מחיה הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלם. ברוך אתה אדוני, האל הקדוש.
Please take these next few moments for your own silent prayers and find your seat when you're ready.
There's several prayers that we can come out of our silent prayer with, and this one's one of my favorites. It's Elohai Nitzor, which asks God to guard our speech from evil and guard our tongues from deception, and to remind us to practice humility. This is another beautiful setting by Donnie Mossing. Elohai Nitzor leshoni mera ושפתיים מדבר מרמה ולמקל עלי נפשי תדום ונפשי כעפר לכל תהיה אלוהי אלוהי נצור לשוני מרע ושפתיים מדבר מרמה ולמקל עלי נפשי תדום ונפשי כעפר לכל תהיה אלוהי אלוהי נצור לשוני מרע ושפתיים מדבר מרמה ולמקל עלי נפשי תדום ונפשי כעפר לכל תהיה אלוהי פתח ליבי. Open my heart. פתח ליבי, פתח ליבי בתורתך. נצור לשוני מרע ושפתיים מדבר מרמה ולמקל עלי נפשי תדום ונפשי כעפר לכל תהיה אלוהי אלוהי נצור לשוני מרע ושפתיים מדבר מרמה ולמקל עלי נפשי תדום ונפשי כעפר לכל תהיה אלוהי יהיו לרצון אמרי פי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני 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 צורי אדוני צורי וגואלי.
Thank you, Cantor. That's one of my most favorite songs. I just love that setting of that prayer. It's beautiful, and you sang it beautifully. Thank you. So I had a very full 5 days. Last Shabbat, last Friday morning, Julie Greenberg and I left at the crack of dawn. I literally picked her up at 4:30 in the morning, so it was before dawn, before the crack of dawn, and we took a bunch of our high school students, Ollie's been on this trip, to New York City for the weekend. We walked them all over the place. We did all sorts of fun things. We have amazing teens in this congregation, so Julie and I were exhausted, but we had a great time. And then I went from there to Washington, D.C., and this is a trip that I know some of you who are in the congregation this evening have participated in, but Belmont, the Curb Center, has a grant to take Jews and Christians to tour the African American History Museum and the Holocaust Museum, and to have a conversation about the shared characteristics of these two stories. So I want to share a little bit about that tonight as a way to sort of shed light on our Torah portion this week, because this week we begin the book of Leviticus, which many like to write off as the book with too many details about sacrifices that we can't relate to. So let me see if I can tie the two together and and tell you where my head was going. So first we visited the African American History Museum on Monday morning, and I was struck by one of the first quotes that I saw when I walked into the museum, and I've been there before. So it does a wonderful job telling the story of the history of slavery and the foundation of slavery for the building of this country. If you haven't seen the museum, and you might want to go, I don't know how much longer it'll be there, but okay, I'm not gonna, so this is not a sermon about politics. That's actually just a fact. I really don't know if it'll stick around. Okay, so here's the quote. The US Constitution charted new territory. No other modern nation attempted to form a republic, a government where the people decide who has the right to rule. Yet the Constitution classified African Americans held in bondage as 3/5 of a person, decreed that all states had to siege fugitive slaves and return them to bondage, and ensured that the nation would maintain the transatlantic slave trade for another 20 years. So we had this US Constitution that talked about freedom and liberty and the inalienable rights for all people, all men. But then we had this subclass of people who were considered 3/5 a person, who were to be slaves, right? So there's this contradiction in sort of the value of this new emerging country and the reality of how that country was built. And then there's another quote immediately after that, following in the next exhibit, that says, William Snellgrave, who was an English sea captain, slave trader, and ivory trader on the West African coast in 1734, is quoted as saying, "Though to traffic in human creatures may at first appear barbarous, the advantage of it far outweighs all inconveniences." So this is how your experience begins in this museum. And both the African American History Museum and the Holocaust Museum, the story doesn't end differently. You all know how the story goes. Now, I had not actually been to our nation's capital's Holocaust Museum before. I've been to many others, and each one tells the story a little bit differently. So, of course, because this is our United States Holocaust Museum, it's going to give it a sort of United States perspective of, you know, how the United States was affected by, participated in, ignored what was going on during the rise of of Hitler in Germany and the fall of the Weimar Republic and the ensuing years of the Holocaust. Now, we know that when a group of people is designated as less than human to forward a political ideology, that is a trauma that we carry with us for generations, and we still do as a Jewish people. So both of these museums spoke to this idea of what happens when we take a group of people and we make them less than. Okay, so let's put a pin in that for just a moment. So we have the book of Leviticus, and in the early chapters of this book, we get these laws of sacrifices, details about these sacrifices, and they're really, as I mentioned, very hard to relate to. And it's been almost 2,000 years since the temple was destroyed, and that's when the sacrificial system came to an end. But Jewish thinkers, especially the more mystical among them, strove to understand the inner significance of the sacrifices and the statement that they made about the relationship between humanity and God. And among the simplest, yet most profound, I feel, was the comment made by Rabbi Zalman of Liadi. And he noticed a grammatical oddity in the second line of the first portion in the book of Leviticus. So the verse reads this way: "Speak to the children of Israel and say to them," this is how the translation goes, "when one of you offers a sacrifice to the Lord, the sacrifice must be taken from the animal, cattle, or flock." Now that's how the verse would read if it were constructed according to normal rules of grammar. However, the word order in the sentence in Hebrew is actually strange and unexpected. We would expect to read, if you're familiar with Hebrew, Adam mikem ki yakriv, when one of you offers a sacrifice. But what it really says is Adam ki yakriv mikem, which translates literally to when one offers a sacrifice of you. The essence of sacrifice, says Rabbi Zalman, is that we offer ourselves.
We bring to God our faculties, our energies, our thoughts, and our emotions. The physical form of sacrifice, which is an animal offered on the altar, is only an external manifestation of actually an inner act. The real sacrifice is of ourselves. We give God, or we give our people, or we give our community, however you like to understand it, we give something of ourselves. So Rabbi Zalman spoke about two souls that live within us. We have the animal soul, the nefesh habehemit, and the godly soul. And on the one hand, we're physical beings. We're part of nature. We have physical needs. We need food and drink and shelter. We're born, we live, we die. But we're not simply animals. We can think, we can speak, we can communicate. We can, by acts of speaking and listening, reach out to others. We are the one life form known to us in the universe that can ask the question, why? We can formulate ideas and be moved by high ideals. We are not governed by biological drives alone. So, how does this work out in detail? A hint is given in the three types of animals mentioned in the verse in the second line of this Torah portion. I mentioned animals, cattle, and flock, behemah, bakar, and son. Each represent, according to Rabbi Jonathan Sachs, a separate animal-like feature of our personalities. So let me just briefly walk you through it. Behemah represents the animal instinct itself. The word refers to domesticated animals. It does not imply the savage instincts of the predator. What it means is something more tame. Animals spend their time searching for food. Their lives are bounded by the struggle to survive. To sacrifice the animal within us is to be moved by something more than mere survival. Cattle, bakar. It reminds us of the word boker, literally to break through, the dawn, like the first rays of sunlight that break through in the morning. Cattle, stampeding, break through barriers. Unless constrained, cattle are no respecters of boundaries. To sacrifice the bakar is to learn to respect and recognize boundaries. And finally, the word son, which is flock, represents the herd instinct, the powerful drive to move in a given direction because others are doing it. The great figures of Judaism, Abraham, Moses, the prophets, they were distinguished precisely by their ability to stand apart from the herd, to be different and to challenge the idols of the age, to refuse to capitulate to the intellectual fashions of the moment. And that ultimately is the meaning of holiness in Judaism. Kadosh, the holy, is something that is set apart. It is different, it is distinctive and separate. So Jews were the only minority in history consistently to refuse to assimilate to the dominant culture or convert to the dominant faith. So, let's come back to these museums. What these two museums have in common is the shared history of sacrifices who do not control their animal urges, who do not elevate what separates us from animals, who cannot or will not sacrifice the animal soul within us, the neshimat habehimat, for the sake of coming closer to God, of being more holy, of being more godlike. Now, in contemporary times, Darwinism led, and I'm all for Darwin, don't get me wrong, Darwinism led to the widespread conclusion that we're all animals. Nothing more, nothing less. We share 98% of our genes with the primates. We are, as Desmond Morris used to put it, the naked ape. According to this idea, we are the result of a random series of genetic mutations and just happen to be more adapted to survive than other species. The animal soul is all there is. But Judaism refutes this idea. Judaism says we can rise above our animal instincts. We can rise above mere survival. We are capable of honoring boundaries. We can step outside of our environment. We can transcend the behemoth, the bakar, and the tzon. No animal is capable of self-transformation, but we are. Poetry and music and love and wonder, the things that have no survival value but speak to our deepest sense of being, all tell us that we're not animals, that we are not assemblages of our selfish genes. And so our third book of the Torah, which we begin reading the Shabbat, Vayikra in Hebrew, or in the Greek, Leviticus, seems desperately boring to some at first read because it delineates in painstaking detail the various sacrifices offered by the Israelites to God in the wilderness. But the Jewish mystics say that this book and the sacrifices were essential because by bringing that which is animal within us close to God, we allow the material to be suffused with the spiritual and we become something else. No longer slaves of nature, but servants of the living God. And as Jews, we certainly know this as we continue to say, never again is now. So, I left these two museums feeling like there is a shared story, and that shared story was much easier to discuss before October 7th. Post October 7th, we've seen one story take a different turn in the eyes of the other. So Jews in a post-October 7th world now remain no longer the victim of the rise of Hitler and the Holocaust. For some, and some even in the African American community, Jews have moved from the column of being victim to the column of being oppressor. What will be really interesting as we go forward in coming days and years is the conversation that I truly hope Blacks and Jews in America can have together, where they return to their shared story and understand that power, which sometimes belongs to one group more than another, can really redirect and change how a group encounters its history and moves forward into the future. So I want to just pause here to ask if there's any questions or comments just based on what I've shared and sort of the experience I shared with you, or how you might understand this idea of sacrifice. That part of what we're asked to do as Jews when we bring the sacrifice of our spiritual self is to remember that we, if I go back to William Snellgrave's, it is not just about ignoring the barbarous and diminishing the inconvenience of declaring one group of people less than another. But it's remembering that we must lift ourselves to a higher self, and that's ultimately the sacrifice that we seek. So any questions or just comments? All right, I wanted to just offer it in case, but I'm here always to discuss after services. I'll leave you to contemplate that. Shabbat Shalom. We'll continue with our Misha Berach this evening. We think of Florence Wittenstein, Susan Hiller, Lee Cohen, Kim Middleton, Bill Schreibman, Ebby Sandberg, Jeff Margolis, Jared Camrus, John Mitchell, and Tobias Houghton. If I've not mentioned the name of your loved one, please do so at this time. Please join us in the words of Misha Berach.
Misha Berach Avotenu, Avraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov. Misha Berach Imotenu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, veRachel. May the one who blessed our mothers. May the one who blessed our fathers hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well. Bless us with the power of your healing. Bless us with the power of your hope. May our hearts be filled with understanding and strengthened by the power of your love. Mi sheberach avoteinu Avraham, Yitzchak, veYaakov. Mi sheberach imoteinu, Sarah, Rivka, Leah, veRachel. May the one who blessed our mothers, may the one who blessed our fathers, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, hear our prayer, and bless us as well.
I invite you to please rise for the words of Aleinu, and whoever would like to come close to Torah and open our ark doors, we invite you to please come do so now.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגור עלינו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו, ושמו, ושמו אחד.
This Shabbat, we honor the following Yorkshites in our community: Diane Adler, Bernice M. Block, Dorothy Braderman, Buddy Cohen, Jerry Eli, Ann Fastow, Elnora Galbraith Plank, Nathan J. Hiller, Jack Keller, Jim Kirby, Louis Leftwich Jr., Dorothy Lewis, Edith Harris Marcus, M. Wendell Ramsey, Marion Ronan, Louis Schwaber, Louis D. Smith, Bernice Handelman Wallace, David Wood, and Vera Zimmerman. We continue mourning for Ann Evans, Don Louis Senzori, Greta Glick, Robert Oglander, Julio Ernesto Mejia Perez, Charlene Estrin, Richard Hiller, Brian Hitchcock, Rabbi Micah Ellenson, Richard Heller, Leslie Susan Winner, Ethel Ress, Mark Hiller, Craig Smith, Nancy Lee Glynn, Clinton Thomas McCormick, Ken Eisenberg, Alton Grove, Judith Mandel, Jonathan Biller, Gertrude B. Noren, Sidney Rappaport, Alan Grolman, Jeff Harwood, David Ploshnik, Alvina Pereira, Homer Middleton, Dr. Daniel Bachman, Michael Walsh, Alan Elliott Goldstein, Joyce Abramowitz Margolis, Judith Richter, Carol Isabel Korn, David Crystal, John Holmes Wolfarth, Edward Horn, Dolores Edward, Susan Duffy, Mara Schwartz, Baxter Overton, Alan Frohl, Joe Frontella, and Esther Dede Denbo Lipman. If I did not mention your loved one, please do so at this time. Please join me in the words of Mourner's Kaddish. Yikadal v'yikadash shemei rabbah, be'alma divrach yiratei v'amlich malchutei, b'chayachon uvyomechon u'chayei dechol beit Yisrael, ba'agala uvizman kariv imru amen. Yehi shmei rabbah mevarach le'olam olmei almaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitroman v'yitnaseh, V'yatadar, v'yataleh, v'yatalal, shemed kudusha barichu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechamata, damiram ve'alma v'imru amen. Yehi shlama rabba min shemaya, v'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'imru amen. Osei shalom b'mromav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, V'imru amen. Zichronam livracha. May the memories of our loved ones be every day for us a blessing, and together we say, Amen. All right, we're going to make Kiddush and Motzi.
Kiddush. I just want to quickly say thank you to Chris and Chris, as well as Jared. It's always so special to have you. And you can go catch them at the opera tomorrow night at TPAC. What's the opera called again?
It's Lucia dell'Amore.
Lucia dell'Amore. Okay. Yes, and also thank you to my wife, Andrea, for running the slides, and Eric for doing sound. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, borei peri hagafen chayim. So pretty. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, hamotzi lechem min haaretz. Amen. Shabbat shalom. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom bimromav, hu yaseh shalom aleinu. Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh Shalom, Yaseh Shalom, Shalom Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Oseh Shalom bimromav, Yaseh Shalom Aleinu. Shalom bimromav, yaseh shalom aleinu. Oseh shalom bimromav, yaseh shalom aleinu. Yaseh shalom, yaseh shalom, shalom aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael. Yaseh shalom, Yaseh shalom.